All right, ladies and gents, we are live for the last video of the week here. Should be a nice and easy one. And even before we go into what is happening with while the West is distracted and China, Belarus, Russia doing all their military operation, I just got to say, because I know someone's going to spot it, yes, yet again, I've just whacked myself in the eye while working on the property, doing some tree work. So yeah, this whole eye is probably going to swell and go purple by the time we're 5 minutes through the stream. But anyway, that's the explanation. No need for any crazy theories on the eye. Right, so we're going to get into today what is actually happening. Let's go straight over to the shared screen here then. So we have Chinese, Belarusian troops practice seizing an airport in a drill near Ukrainian and Polish border. So this is right on the Polish border here. So what do they call it? The anti-terrorist exercise was held just days after NATO denounced Beijing as a decisive enabler of Russia's war effort. So basically what's kind of happening at the moment is, because NATO put out this statement, they've really upset China over all the things that they've said, the accusations. What I've noticed is that the rhetoric has really increased as well. So the statements coming back from China has really increased. And the exercises now have sort of ramped up as well. It's a lot more brazen than it was before, where they were talking about these are defensive exercises, this is this. Now they're just like, yeah, us, Russia, Belarus, we're doing exercises to protect us against NATO and whatever you guys are trying to do. So we're seeing a lot more of this come out. I want to go through these articles and show you just how much of this. So this was they sent in there, China said before, oh yeah, we're just sending in a few troops. Now the language has changed to, we've sent in our most elite paratroopers to take part in the exercise. So what did they do? Simulated the capture of an airport. And this is after the NATO denounced Beijing as a decisive enabler. The joint anti-terrorist training exercise known as Eagle Assault was held near the city of Brest, which lies just across the border with Poland and only 17 miles from Ukraine. The joint air-ground exercise comes just days after the Washington summit declaration issued by NATO leaders, which said China's deepening partnership with Russia was a matter of profound concern to the alliance. Recently, Belarus became the 10th full member of the SCO. This is the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. What is that, you may be asking? It is basic, in fact, I've got it here for you. It's basically their answer to NATO. So you've got a large amount of countries who are part of this SCO, and I guess that's the best way to describe it. It's their answer to NATO in effect. Let me just go over here and show you who's involved. So you got Belarus is the newest member, they just joined recently. China, India, Iran, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Pakistan, Russia, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan. Then you have what's known as observers or dialogue partners. So observers are Mongolia, and the dialogue partners, so these aren't official members. This is Armenia, Azerbaijan, Bahrain, Cambodia, Egypt, Kuwait, Maldives, Myanmar, Nepal, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Sri Lanka, Turkey, and the UAE. So that is basically who you've got here. In fact, just before I forget as well, for everyone in the program, I've just released now part 2 has just started today. So I think it was module 7 that's just come out. So this has just started for those of you in the program. Hold on, here we're up to this. So this is just released today, and we've still got all these modules, but I am recording through quite quickly. So just to give you a quick update on that, module 7 has been released today. So Russia, China kick off this live fire naval exercise in the South China Sea. We haven't heard much about this on the news actually, but this has taken place with China and Russia. And I was surprised that there wasn't a lot of coverage on this, but no, there hasn't been a lot on this at all. And it says the exercise will see the warship formation practice live fire training, reconnaissance, early warning, search and rescue, air defense, according to the PLA South Sea Fleet. This is a no-limits partnership, saw two-way trade hit a record of 240 billion. This was last year, 2023, up 26% from a year earlier. So this is between Russia and China. Their trade has increased. Meanwhile, this is key for you all to understand here, China and US trade fell 11.6% last year to 664 billion. So they're still doing 3 times the amount. For context here, because I don't want to underplay this, they're still doing 3 times the amount of trade, China and US at 664, as they are with Russia, which is 240. But that's only because the US is such a bigger economy. We've also had more talks about these exercises then. The ongoing exercises take place just days after Belarus became the 10th member of the SCO, which we talked about. And it shows you where all of these exercises are taking place around Poland. But one thing that just came out yesterday evening then was this comment piece. And it talks about war with China is closer than we think. And this lady here wrote this big piece on the Russian Navy and all the military and what's happening here. And I'm not going to go through all of this, but the point I wanted to make with this is that I thought it was really interesting or strange how we're seeing all the media coming out with all of this now, talking about Russia, talking about China, talking about Belarus. And it's either that they are complicit in trying to push this, or they're really just trying to prepare everyone for what is coming. But it's every time I see more of these stories and the fact that there's some things that are pushed, like we saw the conscription stuff, every media outlet pushed it, conscription has come in, everyone needs to be prepared. But then there's other things like these exercises and the severity of the exercises right on the border, and you're not really hearing anything about that at all. So it is interesting the way I think all of this is moving now. Even Sky News, who were down yesterday because of the outage, which still isn't 100% corrected, by the way, they led with this story. The new Axis powers, this just came out today. China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea are forging closer ties. How worried should we be? And they talk about Russia's war in Ukraine, Israel, Hamas, China, Taiwan. It goes on to talk about all of the different leaders now. But one thing I thought was strange is how they've compared this new Axis power. And this is, I'm not even going to say the word, the video will get flagged on YouTube, but this is how they're comparing it now. They're saying, look, this is what's coming, blah, blah, blah. They're trying to sort of preempt everything here. And I don't think this helps, by the way, when they use this sort of symbolism in their articles, because it just creates the wrong impression, is what I believe, when we should be trying to get to a more peaceful world here, not trying to inflate things. Russia says it may deploy nuclear missiles in response to US weapons in Germany. So this has got a lot more depth in it now. We talked about this previously. But they're not ruling out any new deployments of nuclear missiles. And this is all to do with the US now saying they're going to station their long-range weapons in Germany. And you can go back and forth over this, over who broke the agreement. Russia says the US broke the agreement. The US is saying that Russia broke the agreement. You know, it's like everybody is blaming one another. So it is like the chicken and the egg. Well, who pulled out of the agreement first? Who said this? Who, you know, it's really hard to get to the bottom of all of this. But they're not ruling out any options, they said, in talking about the US deployment plan. And this is because the US said last week it would start deployment in Germany from 2026. And these are weapons that are banned under the agreement. Putin said that he would resume producing short and intermediate range land-based missiles and decide where to place them if needed. And most of them are nuclear capable. Now, here's the point on this. The missiles that Russia and the US are contemplating deploying are intermediate range ground-based weapons that were banned under a 1987 US-Soviet treaty. The US quit the treaty in 2019, accusing Russia of violations that Moscow denied. So again, it's the chicken and the egg here. Who quit first? Who broke the rules? A Russian deployment of nuclear missiles in Kaliningrad would send a powerful signal to the West because of its direct proximity to NATO countries. In a telephone interview earlier this week, he said Russia might also deploy missiles in its Moscow or Leningrad regions or in the Far East, where they could target Alaska or even California. Okay. So what are the biggest security threats coming down the line then? There's just a big piece on this, an interview. Number one is war in Lebanon. They're saying this is the biggest one next. It's on everyone's radar that it hasn't started yet, but this is what a lot of geopolitical analysts think is coming next, a war in Lebanon. And if this happens, it says it will create a new major conflict in the region. Iran gets the bomb. This is the other one that is their big concern. Also conflict and war with Iran. Russia winning in Ukraine was the next one. They are saying China taking Taiwan. I actually think this will be the biggest one, China taking Taiwan, if this happens during the Biden presidency. And I just want to comment on that actually, because I don't think I've been clear on a few of my views on this, because people often, I see in the comments, Neil, do you think Trump's going to run against Biden, etc.? I don't think Biden is going to run in November against Trump. I think, and again, I know this is a long shot here and I'm really sort of projecting out, but I think what will happen is it will be Trump running against Kamala Harris. Why do I think that when there's, all these different options? Oh, Michelle Obama, Gavin Newsom, etc. I just don't think that these other people are going to run. I think they're just going to run Kamala Harris, and I think she will lose to Trump in November. That is what I think will happen. And I can't really give you any specific detail. People are saying, why do you, someone asked me yesterday, why do you think that? It's just my intuition. That is what I think is going to happen. I don't think Newsom, because he absolutely wrecked California. Imagine what California spread the way it is now, all the craziness there. Can you imagine if all that spread to the whole of the US? It would be finished within years. It would be absolutely insane. I don't think any of the others that they're talking about will run either. They haven't got the power or the sway. So I just think they're going to run Kamala Harris. I don't think Biden's going to make it. They're going to force him out beforehand. But I still think Trump will win the election in November. Starmer has also just pledged unshakable support to Zelensky. So he came on this surprise meeting to the UK again. Not really much of a surprise. I mean, it's his third visit in the last year or two asking for more money. But one thing that made me laugh on this article, hold on, where is it? Oh, here it is. So I've got to laugh at this one. Aides to Mr. Zelensky arrived at number 10 Downing Street on Friday. It's like, how many aides does he have? There was another one, he had about 25 aides. Who needs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? Who needs 13 aides? Oh my goodness. There we go. And then lastly 40 more countries want to join the BRICS alliance. If 40 countries did join, I don't think they will. They'll probably bring in another 5 or 6 this year. It's already over 30%, 1/3 of the world's GDP. I just can't imagine 25% of the world actually joining BRICS. That would be quite crazy. 25% of the 195 countries in the world. There's already about 10 in there. So you got another 40. That would be pretty wild, wouldn't it? What else was I going to mention? Oh yeah, somebody asked me. Yeah, part 2 of the program is out today, so you can access that. I got asked 2 other questions. Yes, the course is tax deductible if you're buying it through a business or if you're self-employed. So I think I answered that before. And then the other one keeps coming up is which course is right for me out of the 3 programs. Honestly, it's hard to say which is right for you, but the wealth accumulation, which is the psychology of money, is like the foundational one. I'd always start with that. And it's 100% complete as well. Then I'd probably do the cash flow one, which is the new program that's out at the minute. because that kind of bridges the gap between psychology and investing. This teaches you how to actually make the money using the model, so it's not tied to your hourly rate, so you can leverage it. And then if you've got money that you want to invest, or you're doing a pension, then I'd probably do the stock market one. That's personally how I would actually do the 3 programs, but completely up to you. If you're in a job that you hate, which is like the constant email every day, I'm in a job I hate, what do I do? Start with the psychology course, then, which is wealth accumulation. Then I'd do the cash flow course. Then I'd do the stock course to invest it all. All right, so that is a nice, easy stream to end the week. I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful weekend if you're doing something fun. Apart from that, take care. God bless you all. God bless your families. And I will see you now on Monday. I better take care of my eye as well. I can feel it getting bigger and bigger. The joys of having your own property, and doing all your own work. All right, take care. Bye.